Okay, 2 Instagram lives in a week. It's a big week. So I brought on Julia Albain, who has been on this podcast before. Go check out the other episode. It is excellent, so value packed. And she is the energy worker that I've been working with privately for the past 10 months. And I asked her to come on to Instagram and do an Instagram live with me so that we could go through what has specifically shifted in my energy and in my business over the last 10 months. And more importantly, we did a guided energy work session to identify and activate your wild desires, and then an abundance activation to connect that with your wild desires. So I had to come on here and put it on here so that you can access those activations, those guided practices. They're towards the very end. I'll have to find a timestamp. But honestly, listening to the entire thing is so juicy. Highly recommend it. We're talking about getting through plateaus. We're talking about how to make the energy do the work for you, because doing the work energetically is often more efficient than doing a bunch of tasks in this 3D plane. So enjoy. Sam Garcia here from Dirty Alchemy. And I have a really fun Instagram live planned for today with the woman that I do energy work with, Julia Albain of Radical Healers. She is someone that has been truly instrumental in increasing my energy capacity over the last 10 months. We've been working together for 10 months. And I wanted to go through what we've worked on specifically because I've seen insane visibility and income leaps over the last 10 months in my business. And I know beyond the strategy, beyond the on the ground work, the energy work we've done has been instrumental in not just opening up the opportunities, but also making them easier.
Yes. Yes. This is our mantra. We want it to be easy.
Do you want to do a quick intro of who you are?
Yes. Hi, I am Julia Albain. I'm an energy worker. I'm an energy teacher. I am kind of a serial entrepreneur. That's the side of me that I didn't talk about for a long time, because when I started doing energy work, I was like, nah, I'm spiritual now. But I have had every possible kind of business and every tax code imaginable and done some weird things in my life. And yeah, I love energy and I love business and I love the moment that we're in on the planet. I think it's like the coolest possible moment to be in, which might sound weird to people, but like we're at such an incredible turning point in our consciousness and like what we can make possible. And so I'm just a nerd for all of it.
And I think such a testament in your own business, because I've worked with a lot of energy workers, healers, and there's a lot of them that don't make any money. And I work with them as in I've looked at the back end of their business and consulted for them. And a lot of them aren't making money, or I'll get DMs from a lot of healers, somatic coaches, all of these types of people, healers, servants of body, mind, spirit, energy.
I mean, and servants, you just said it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And a lot of them don't make money, and there's a lot of guilt involved. There's a lot of I shouldn't be charging for this involved, and just witnessing you and your business and how effortlessly you get new clients, and you're creatively prolific, and you are serving tons of people one-on-one. And it's amazing to watch, and such a testament to the different kind of energy work that you do than many others do.
Thank you. I appreciate all that. And it definitely was a journey, but I'm also kind of passionate about it now because we want good, amazing, gifted, creative, somatic, magical people getting their work out in the world. And you only can do that when you are well taken care of. There is absolutely an edge to how much you can provide to the world if you are fundamentally unwell. And we're in a system that includes money in that. And so we can be actively wanting that system to change. We can have our beliefs around capitalism, but I'm a big advocate for let's hijack the system we're inside of and change it in real time and get money into good hands.
Yeah. So why I invited Julia on is because if you're aware of the Regenerative Business Mastermind, she is someone that is going to be a facilitator within the program, within the 4-month mastermind. And I just want to like go into why, what has changed in my life. And we're actually going to at the end do an abundance activation and a anchoring in of your wild desires and your wild vision. So that's I'm excited to participate in that. um and so just to and I'm like actually really curious, Julia, to like hear your perspective, because I only know my
Yeah.
perspective of like these last 10 months, and we were chatting beforehand, but I'm like I'm sure there's things that I don't even see as the human inside of the
Mhm.
body.
Yeah.
But my business has been very successful for many years, and this 10 months ago, if you heard our podcast together, I told the story, but I thought I was getting energetically attacked. That was like the real reason behind it, and I ended up having like mono, and like maybe they're connected, but I was like desperately seeking a healer, and like anyone, I was like, please someone help me, because I don't trust the medical industry. And I Julie had a one-off a private session the next day, and I was like, done, booked, here I am. And I we worked through that for like over like a month or two. It probably took for like my body, and like not just that, but many other things, like physical changes in my own body, before we were like really working on more, okay, my human, I'm healthy, and now I can move on to these more energetic miracle type stuff. And it gave me such a huge aha around, if you are already making 10, 20, 50K months or more, and you're not prioritizing your human physically and energetically, then you are muting yourself. You are capping
Oh
yourself.
my God. Yeah. Yes. I mean, on a practical level, it makes sense, right? And still, most of us have a block to that because we, in Sam's words, we love to get obsessed with our business, right? But this is the vehicle. This is it. And this does have its caps, right? But also, this is a vehicle where we can train certain qualities of discipline and care and attention and like healthy masculine habits that then translate into how we show up for our business. So the thing is, it's not just caring for your body so that it can show up to doing the work. How you learn to care for your body will translate into good constructive habits for how you show up to your business. And then there's the energetic layer, where I could get into all the energetic parallels of how what's going on in the body is going on in the energy of you and your business. And so like, yeah, when we started working, Sam, it was like, we're tending to the body, but not just because you wanted a different experience of your day to day, because I was like, this is the foundation. And actually, if we do all this work in the body, then we get up into the energetics and we're just like teasing things out. And we also have good checkpoints. Like you and I are at this place now where we have good checkpoints in your body and your energy of things going even a hair off course. And so it's this like almost instantaneous course correction as you go.
Yeah. And to be clear, I was taking care of my body. Like I was exercising, I was eating well, and I have been for decades. And also I daily meditation, I do the rituals, I do the miracles. So I'm like, I'm actually not talking about like foundational basics. It's like we actually need to tune this like top 10%. Am I right in that? That's my
Oh,
interpretation.
totally. I'll say a little bit of yes and totally. You're a well person, right? Like you were a healthy person that came to me, but also a healthy person that would work an edge of depletion
Yeah.
in the name of getting
Yeah.
things forward in your business, right? That was a habit that you were comfortable with. And many of us have that, especially in our 20s and 30s, especially entrepreneurs. We're really good at it. We're really good at normalizing discomfort, which is our superpower. And there is a point in growing and scaling your business where the very pattern that got you so far, we want to shift, because normalizing the discomfort becomes a drain on the system. And the next stage is to normalize ease and abundance and vitality and let that carry you through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good.
Does that feel
So
true? Does that feel true to you? That it was just like we were working out the edge where you would
yeah.
normalize a little bit of depletion to just get things done.
Well, it's almost it's almost like when you know that you shouldn't be doing something, and like it's as simple as stopping doing it. It's as simple as not doing it, and you know you shouldn't be doing it. It's as simple as not doing it, but like you just can't get off the edge.
Yeah.
It's like that's what a lot of this energy work has seemed to do. It's just like, oh, you don't actually need to fix any problems. It's just like the energy fixes it.
Yeah. The energy fixes it. And I think the energy organizes you toward something more desirable than the habit of the thing that you know doesn't work, right? Like that is how I often am working it with people, is like, we want to get you oriented where this feels better and more interesting than the habit of that thing that you know you probably shouldn't be doing, but it's not causing that much trouble. So how bad could it be? Those are the sneaky ones where you're like, this is fine and functional. And hear me, I was like a highly functioning alcoholic for 10 years. So I know this pattern well. This is why I can work it. But it's, if we can get you to something more interesting, an experience of your business that's more interesting, an experience of creativity or of energy that's more interesting, you know, then it's easy to let those things go. You're just like, it's irrelevant because what I'm creating over here is more powerful.
So something you've been talking about a lot lately and that we've been working on is just fixing it with the energy. And I'd love to hear you riff on that, and also like hear some stories, because I've heard some stories from you.
Yeah. My mantra, I've been saying this to people lately in my classes, in my training, I know the hardest part of energy work is that it's so easy. But like the hardest part of this work is that it is so easy. It is so simple that we don't believe it could be possible, and we make the thing harder. And so a lot of when I talk about fixing it in the energy, I truly believe, and I have the tangible experience of us going in and doing a session and cleaning things up in someone's energy. And sometimes, right, like you've experienced, sometimes you feel stuff, sometimes maybe not, right? But we're just we're suspending the disbelief that we can work it out in the energy. And then we watch over the next 2, 4, 6 weeks as an entirely new pattern of being opens up in your life. You didn't have to make the change. We changed it in the energy, and organically you started showing up differently. Organically, you didn't reach for that thing that wasn't working anymore. Organically, it became easier to show up on social media or whatever else it is, right? So anything that you think of as like a resistance or a block or a problem, we can work it out here if you want. Like, as my partner would say, is like, you could wrestle with it if you want, or we can just go in and clean it up in the energy and watch the 3D reality change.
And for people who are popping in, that are new, popping into the live, like, and you're hearing that, definitely stay on for, I don't know, probably be 20 more minutes, because we're going to do a live abundance activation and a live like activation around wild desires and like really embodiment of it. So like, I'm excited for that. You should be too. So let's hear some stories.
Okay. So here's some stories. So I have a client who is an energy worker as well. And we've been working the energy of her being able to have impact, right? This is like her, the feeling was like, can I have impact? We're working her energy on having impact. She's doing her work. And like within a few days of some of that really targeted work in session, she has an experience of a client getting an unexpected $30,000 after she did some abundance focused activations on her. So, right. So it was this chain of impact where like, I get the experience of watching my client have the experience of having impact. But we're also tracing, we're just like she said, she's like, it's like energy works or something. I'm like, yeah, this stuff works, right? You and I have said that. We're just like, oh my gosh, it's almost like energy works or something. This stuff works.
Yeah.
What other experiences? I was telling you, I had a business client recently where they were working out a pretty big potential deal, right? And as we're working the energy of the deal, the energy is taking us down to these really specific details of what wants to be focused on for this specific acquisition, right? So they could go into a business acquisition and doing all the normal business things, which they will. But what happens if the energy can actually target you to 3 details of the potential merger that are the most important based on the energetics of this business and the energetics of the other business potentially coming in? That completely changes the landscape of focus, because now those people are hyper focused on 3 factors, really important factors that make sense for the energetics of this merger, right? Not just the scope of appropriate business practice.
You also have a really good paddleboard story.
I wasn't even thinking about for myself. I do this for myself all the time. I'm in a phase right now where every morning I sit down, and part of my morning practice is I like put an ask into the energy. And lately I've been doing it more specific. So sometimes it's a money ask. Sometimes it's like, I want the experience of someone reaching out to invite me on a podcast. I want the experience of someone reflecting that they had a powerful experience. And it happens every day, right? So like almost every day, you asking me to come on this live. That morning, I've been like, I want a chance to like get in front of some people. I want to talk in front of some people. And a couple hours later, Sam's like, hey, we should do an Instagram live. I went, there it is. I was out paddleboarding one day. I took myself paddleboarding, which was amazing. It's in the middle of the week. I think I should be working, right? And so I was enjoying it. And then I had that hitch of like, I should be working. Shouldn't I be doing something? And then I was like, wait a minute, this is not the pattern of business that I want to create. Like the whole point for me is to create an abundant business where I can go paddleboarding at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. So I was paddleboarding. I look up at this tree and I'm like, hey, I would love your help, like connecting me back to the energy that like, this is totally fine and responsible and abundant for me to be paddleboarding. And the tree was like, okay, what would make you feel? What would be the evidence that would help you? And I was like, I would like a surprise amount of money by the end of the day. And they were like, okay, what's a surprise amount of money? And I was like, above this amount of money. And by 6 p.m. that night, I had this unexpected, booking for over the threshold that I had asked for. And so I say that story too, because there was 2 pieces of that. It was about what I was asking for the money, but it was about me being very clear that I was wanting the money as a confirmation of a feeling I wanted to feel inside my business, that it was safe and responsible to be paddleboarding on a Wednesday, and that I could still be creating the business that I think is meaningful and important. So that might be something for people listening to think about as well. When your desires and your asks, also get down to the why of it. What's the feeling that you're needing from it to confirm that you're on the right path, that you are doing the right thing in your business, that your business can be the experience that you want it to be.
That's so good. And this is so important if you are either, because there's this could be an either or both and situation where you could be at a point in your business where you're making good money, but you're overworking. And so you need to give yourself permission and have the experience of working less, sometimes working way less, and still making the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Or you're making good money and you just want to be making more money, but not working any more than you currently are.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yes,
these are things that can be cleaned up in the energy.
This is actually a great place to come to the energy with. Like, we can come to the energy when we're in crisis and emergency, but really then we're using the energy to just create safety, to get us back to safety. And like people come to me in crisis and that's fine, but then all the energy can do is get us back to safety. But if we can come from safety and be like, I'm ready to move into creation, I'm ready to move into possibility, then everything becomes a question of what if, right? Like, okay, I make $50,000 a month in my business. What if I could make $100,000 and work half as much, right? Some people hear that and that sounds crazy, but those are the what ifs that the energy can help us with. Because the obvious is, if I have to work 80 hours a month to get to $50,000 a month, then I'm gonna have to work 160 hours to get to 100,000. But the energy is like, no, actually we wanna go in the opposite direction. We wanna make this more efficient. And I think we're in a paradigm of like, anyone listening, you included, Sam, like you can hustle your way into more money. That's like when you came to me, you knew that. You were like, I know how to hustle my way into growth. but like, what would it be like to magic my way into growth? What if it got easier the more impact I had? You know what I mean? What if things got more fun and playful? That's like the fun, juicy spot with the energy.
So how is this different than like manifestation? Or like when people talk about that, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's so funny. I've been really on this lately because I hate that word and I hate the pop culture around it. But I get it. I get why that was like what we could tackle with our consciousness at the point. I think we're talking about tapping into a creative capacity within ourselves, right? Which is like, you are a creator, you can create your life, but we're also creating in feedback with the world and with other people and with other businesses. And when we're thinking in terms of creation, it's not just about manifesting the thing we think we want. It's letting the desire drive us to a changed state of being. And sometimes that includes getting the desire. Sometimes it's we realize we don't actually want the thing we thought we wanted, but we needed to let ourselves want it because it kicked off a process that was really important. And I was actually thinking about this with business this morning. I was like, I love business because it makes me change. It makes me change and grow. It's like my greatest teacher. And so, yes, I get things in the process, and yes, I have impact, and that's beautiful, but also being an entrepreneur is like this constant evolution internally. And like, I am wildly different than even 3 months ago. My internal landscape right now is so wildly different than 3 months ago. And it's my business that calls that forward in me.
So this is so important if you're further along in business and you're like paying yourself $20,000 a month, let's say. Like I've seen this and I've heard this that's like if you're paying that salary, like you have a luxury life. There's like really no reason to want more. There's like you're comfortable, so why would you actually push yourself and like get on? Like we were kind of talking about like getting into that like next groove earlier on. It's like what's the motivation there? And this is really where if there's like I kind of want to make X amount of month in my business, but you're like in this really comfortable spot, then like this is can be a key element to actually like moving one step over into something where you're actually motivated to work on the energy, work in your business to get to that next level.
Yeah. Well, and it's also like a tool I've been using a lot, and we've done this before, is I use the energy to connect me into the desire of my business and let my business tell me what it desires. And I'll tell you, usually it's telling me a number about 4 times what I would say I want. You know what I mean? So because the business has a sense of impact, right? And money is just the fuel for the impact. Money is like is just fuel when we get into that frame of mind. So the business is like, it's X amount of dollars because that's the fuel that's going to create this reach and impact and this creative possibility in all these branches of work and offerings. And when I tune to that, it's so inspiring. And it also takes some like any little crunchy bits we have around wanting, because we all have little stuff around like, is it okay to want more? Do I really need more money this way? And when we just tune to the desire of the business and like what it wants to create, then we're just kind of stewarding that.
So I'm curious because there's a lot of people who do a lot of different kinds of energy work, and this is the most effective one that I've come into contact with. And I'm not an energy worker, or like I do a certain kind of energy work, but like it's I'm a cowboy, honestly. Like I'm a cowboy over here in the Wild West, kind of doing whatever the fuck I want. And I'm just like, what is it actually different about this style? Because when you use a gazillion different styles, but like your process, like how is that actually different than like all of these people who do all this energy work and they're not actually getting the results that they want?
Yeah, I think there's two, and you're right. I work in I've got a large repertoire of tools and paintbrushes that I grab at, but there's kind of 2 categories. One is like moving frequencies into a space, right? So working on a vibrational level, and you know, some would call it channeled energy. Some of that's Reiki. Reiki's, whenever you say energy work, people go Reiki, and I'm like, okay, yes, and like so much more. But right, that category of channeled energies where we can move a frequency into a space, whether that's your body or your business. And it's kind of like what we've talked about with herbalism. It's like flooding an environment with resource,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So moving channeled energy in is like flooding an environment with resource that opens up some new awareness or moves some old stuff out, right? And then this other category, which is, body talk, you hear me talk about a lot in sessions, and this other system that I've developed called integrative energy mapping, where we're tracking really specific details and bringing them into communication so that some new possibility can open up, right? So you experience in sessions, sometimes we're in your business and we're like, okay, there's an energy of this that needs to talk to some function over here that needs to be adjusted. And we're doing like really detailed fine tuning of a thing. And in the physical body, it can create unbelievable healing and also just bring a lot of really specific information. And then in business, I use the same maps to target kind of like metaphors of energy. And then we bring that forward. And I'm like, there's an energy of this that's trying to balance in this way. What does that bring up for you? And you go, oh, I need to rework that Instagram post, right? Like we get such targeted information that rather than scanning the whole ecosystem of your business and be like, what's going on? What needs my attention? We go in and let essentially the body of your business be like, hey, my liver needs help, right? And we have an understanding of what liver energy means. We let the body tell us where it needs some support.
So good. It's always so fun. Okay, so within the Regenerative Business Mastermind, you are going to be holding monthly group calls. They're like 30, 45 minutes, and I'm like thinking of them as like espresso shots of energy work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I want you to explain like what that's going to be like for people, what people can bring to it, what they can expect out of it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like what I've been really, and we were riffing on this, what I've been really thinking about lately is even within energy work and consciousness work, right, mindset work, we still talk about it a lot, right? Yeah. We talk about our mindset stuff. We talk about the energetics. And I've just been on this thing where I'm like, I just want us to get in and get it done. Like, we don't need as much time. We don't need to talk about it. Your brain actually can't help with this, because if your brain could help, you already would have done it, right? If your brain had the solution, you would have already done that. So we're getting into the energy in the body. And so those calls are like, like the espresso shot or these boot camp calls where we're going to guide really targeted group energy practice to move some things through in your energy field, to open some information up around a problem or a challenge that you're tackling in your business, to maybe just open and expand your energy field around safety to step into the next layer of business that's calling you forward. To digest and compost experiences, right? Challenging experiences or triggering experiences that might come up. And so the goal of those is that it's just experiential, and it's a space for you to come in, be held, guided through a practice, and to let your body and energy do what it actually already knows how to do. And that's the thing. Everybody listening to this, your body and your energy actually already knows how to do this stuff for you. We've just lived in a world that's trained us against it. And so if we create a space and we guide a little bit of opening and practice, your body and energy will start churning for you in a way that takes care of a significant set of challenges and problems for you. And then you just get to go into your week and watch the solutions unfold.
So good. Ah. Okay, so I kind of want to just jump into the activities that we have planned.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So you want me to take it away, or do you want to introduce this? Yeah. Okay.
No, I want you to take it away.
So we want to guide.
I'm so excited for everyone on live with us, because it's going to be so potent. Yes. And for everyone listening to the replay, I'll probably also put this on the podcast so people can do it a few times even.
Please. And I've been running these energy experiments on TikTok and on Instagram, and like telling people, like, come back and let us know what happens, and crazy things happen. So like, feel free to come back and let us know if you have an experience. Because I want to be present. Like, we're going to feel something here together, but then also the energy is going to work over the next few days. And so your job after today is to just kind of like watch your world and see if some interesting things come up in response to what we do. So, and we're gonna make this like so specific and efficient here. So you can let yourself get comfortable. You can wiggle your body a little bit. You can close your eyes if that feels good. You don't have to. You can find, like, I've got a plant over here that I'm gonna gaze at as I let my attention shift. Ooh. And you can maybe trace your breath a couple times. Just follow the sensation of your breath, the pathway of your breath moving in and out. Not trying to make it do anything specific, letting it be exactly right. As you are breathing right now is exactly right. And you get to just watch that path, that sensation of breath. And I'm going to invite you to bring forward, and this might feel complex in the beginning and then it will get simple. You're going to start to bring forward like your wildest desire, this want and desire that's like really pulsing in you. And you know you're on the right track if you a desire comes up and then you start to negotiate with it or suppress it, right? If you a crazy money goal or a crazy influence goal or impact goal comes up and then you start to judge it or try to negotiate your way out of it, that's the one. So we're suspending all what ifs, we're suspending all the details and facts. We're gonna let just pure raw desire take center stage here. And so you can let that come forward in your mind, and maybe as you're aware of that and you're focusing on that, you're letting it be simple, right? Let it be really simple. It's a really clean and clear desire. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen. It doesn't matter if it's even possible. And as you let that be clear in your mind, you might start to notice some sensation in your body. And I want you to just let your awareness be with the sensations in the body. Don't make a story about it. Don't make it make sense. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to move it. Just watch the information in your body blossom in response to this desire, this front and center desire. Ooh. And then, oh, this is fun. It's very bubbly over here for me. So while you get to do that, you get to just hang out with the sensation in your body. I'm going to just start to move an energy in for all of us. This is for everyone live. This is going to touch you if you're watching this years from now. That's how energy works, right? So as you listen to my voice, there's an energy moving in that's wrapping and weaving and winding around you. It's winding around your desire. It's just holding a space for the fullness of that desire. It's beginning to build the infrastructure, the possibility, the pathways that allow that desire to move toward expression in the 3D world. And you don't have to do it. This energy is working on your behalf. And your work is to just stay with the sensations in your body. Just notice them, be curious about them. And sensation can include thought, by the way. So if you're a person whose mind kind of starts to race and wander when you drop into experiences like that, don't discount that. That's part of the energy. You're just experiencing sensation through thought. None of it has to mean anything. You're just hanging out with it. You're just noticing. Maybe you notice certain sensations that you enjoy. Maybe you notice certain sensations that you don't. Maybe you notice yourself kind of resist certain sensations or want to change certain sensations, and you can just notice that, but there's nothing you have to do with any of it. Your work is hanging out with the sensation. Our work, the energy's work, is wrapping up and gathering your desire and beginning to build the pathways between it and you. And you may start to notice or feel a sort of like a vapor, maybe a texture of energy, and maybe even it comes to you as a color. The way it's kind of showing itself to me is like this vapor of energy that has a color to it. And this is the essence of that desire. And this energy that I just wove in is going to continue to hold that for you. It's going to continue to weave with you for a few days. But now you have a relationship to this vapor of desire, this essence of desire. And it is its own being. It is its own being separate of you. And so rather than you having to hold it or figure it out, you're now in relationship with this being that is separate of you, but that wants to dance with you. And as I say that, I'm moving some energy in my body. There's some burps happening on my end, little ways that my body tells me that there's some energy being kind of moved and composted. You might notice that. Maybe there's yawns, maybe there's some tingles. You can just kind of notice, has your body been responding to this? Oh, and maybe take a couple nice breaths to just let that all settle. That still gets to be here. The energy is still with us. That vapor, that essence of desire is still with us. You can maybe, put a hand on your chest and give a little pat if it feels good to bring some contact to your body. And so, still held in this field of energy. Well, as I said that, I felt it like wake up a little bit. I'm like, whoa, I'm still here. This field of energy that we're in, this vapor of desire that you are dancing with, that has made itself very clear, that hopefully feels so big that you couldn't figure it out on your own if you tried, right? That's when we're really in the terrain of desire. We couldn't possibly figure it out on our own. We have to invite a bigger energetic grid. From this place, we're going to just invite some space for your body, really your body and your soma, and its relationship to this essence of desire, to bring forward some really clear communication on whether or not stepping into our regenerative business mastermind is like the big yes. Not just for you, but for this essence of desire, this desire that wants to be created through you. It has tapped you. It has picked you. And so you can just kind of hold that question, not looking for an answer. We're going to invite that question in. Is this mastermind the right choice for me, but more specifically for this desire? And don't try to reach for an answer right away. Just hold the question. Maybe you even, if you're a tactile person, maybe you even imagine like holding a little something in your hand. Like for me right now, there's like this sense of holding a question mark between my hands. And I'm just like, interesting, there's a question in the air. Is this mastermind the right support, the right fit for the essence of desire that has picked me? And as you hold that question, we're going to let another energy come in. It's just going to weave around you and through you. It's going to weave through our group. It's also really weaving through the mastermind, because that mastermind space, that ecosystem and group already exists. And so we're kind of calling the energy and essence of that here. And we're going to just let you feel in your body if you're in that space or not. And there's no right or wrong answer here. Our only desire is that there's clarity. There's a really clear and easy yes or no. I'm just sitting with the energy here because it's very alive for me. There's this real potency that's also very effervescent. I'm just trusting that to work and support here. And this is kind of what we were talking about before. The hardest part of energy is that it's so easy. You don't have to do anything right now. You get to be held in this, and you get to just watch what it brings forward in your body. Maybe you feel some emotion moving. You don't have to make sense of that emotion. You get to just observe. How interesting, how beautiful that the energy is moving something in me. And there's a kind of settling quality I feel to the energy now. And so maybe you had a really strong yes or no. Maybe you can just trust that that yes or no is going to blossom in you over the next few days, but that this energy is holding that space for you. There's an energy that is weaving in your system. It's weaving in your desire. It is clarifying the space for you to know so easily your yeses and nos, so easily what the right support is to hold this desire that has chosen you. This desire has tapped you and said, I want to be created through you. You're the one I want to dance with. And maybe you even notice what that stirs in you to think of it that way. You got tapped by this desire. This desire said, I want to make this through this one, with this soul. You can let a couple full breaths come through, and so we're going to do what I'm calling some abundance activations. And we've had some wild stories recently in my other communities of people getting like surprise money and unfolding money. And Sam and I were talking about this before, and like what I really want to invite through this, a lot of you listening probably maybe know how to make good money. And money maybe is even a thing that you're like, that's not really my focus. Or maybe some of you are like, oh no, that's really my focus. There's space for both. But we want to move into the place where it's not just about the capacity for money to come in, but money to come in easily and money to come in as a fuel for the creative capacity that you are called toward. Do you have something to add to that, Sam, before we do that? Or thought or anything from this practice we just did?
I think it's just like a little like sprinkle of like it almost feels miraculous or out of nowhere. Like there's like a little element of surprise to it.
Yes. Yes. Actually, too, as you say that, this is a moment for everyone listening to this, wherever in time you are listening to this. Like literally throw up a desire around money, because money is so personal. So it's like, what specifically in your relationship to money would you love to miraculously shift? If you could miraculously shift one thing about your relationship and experience of money, like hold that in your mind. We're tossing that in and we're letting the energy kind of move and activate something around that.
Can you give like a couple examples of what you mean by that? Because my first was like a number, but like I think there's other examples, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think like for some people, right, it can be a number. For some people, it's might be that they want a change in how money leaves, right? Like some people have more of a tenuous relationship with how quickly money goes out, or even how much they grip to money, right? Versus how it comes in. So there's the relationship of how it comes in, there's the relationship of how it goes out. There's also like, how do you experience it coming in? Do you have to really, really work for it and then you get the relief of it landing? Would you like that to shift, right? Do you get checked out and disassociated by what to do with it, right? Do you always have money coming in, but you're just, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, probably like money comes in really easily through this offer, but not this one. And I really want to come in through this offer.
Yes. I'm actually tapping that one. Because I have that shift in my business right now. There's places where I'm like, that money just is constantly coming, but I would love to see it happen as easily in these other areas.
Yeah, if you're someone who like you do masterminds, you do one-on-ones, and you're like, I really want my passive programs, or like I have to like be on Instagram all the time, but I really want my passive funnels. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll also invite too, like some people, like you could invite that you just want random surprise money that has nothing to do with your business. Yeah. That's a fun one that we forget about as entrepreneurs. Like we really love to have money come through our business, but like also like what if you get like a random check in the mail for $20,000? Like, are you gonna say no to that?
We did a lot of that work earlier this year. I can attest to like I got some like crazy sums of money from like unexpected places.
Yeah.
Earlier this year from this work.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's a consciousness that changes of just opening us to support in all directions. All right. Okay. Hands on chest for this. This is what I'm feeling. Hands on chest. feel those specifics of your relationship to money that you would love to tune in a new direction, that you would love to change. And then I'm gonna, as we let this energy come in, I'll encourage people to breathe as deeply into your belly as possible and actually almost imagine breathing into your tailbone. Imagine if you could inhale all the way into your tailbone. And then the exhale is like it's just like a really easy release. And just keep that breath pattern going. There's a real, I'm going to narrate what I experienced as I let this one move through. There's a real, like, kind of funny, playful, not quite trickstery, but there's a real, like I heard this, like, kind of wild laugh as we started moving the energy in. It was just a reminder of, like, yeah, like, let it be playful. Let it be a little wild. You know what I mean? Money can get very serious and we get very grippy about it and we really want to figure it out. And there's a real texture to this energy of letting it be a little wild, a little open, very playful and laughing. And there's a feeling and a visual here too for some people, even the places where maybe you have some very significant money challenges in front of you. What would happen if you like wrapped that with a laugh or wrapped it with some wildness? What would happen if you even looked at what seems like a really big challenge and met it with playfulness and curiosity and a little bit of kind of like wild chaos? There's also an energy here for some folks of connecting to let me find the right phrasing for this. Being in relationship with money, not just using it, not just wanting it, not just extracting from it, being in relationship with it and understanding it as a creative fuel and understanding yourself as simply a co-creator with money. You are just co-creating with money. And perhaps then you get to communicate to your co-creator what it is that you would like to be creating. And then finally, the last piece I'll offer here as this energy moves through, and we're gonna, let me see. We're gonna let this energy move for 7 days. So you're gonna have an energy moving in your world for 7 days around this money piece. Nothing you have to do with that, but you can watch curiously. You get to just now go into your life and be like, very interesting. There's apparently going to be this magical money activation moving in my world. You know, I welcome skepticism with this stuff. Like, be skeptical, go in your world and be like, let's see about this. Like, what could possibly happen? But for 7 days, this energy is going to move. And the last piece I'll offer that was there is like, for some of us, you need to like, or not need, but you're being invited to actually like quadruple or even 10x your ask. That some of the tension,
Hear that, you guys?
some of the tension of like feeling like you're not getting where you want with a money experience is because you're actually not asking for enough. There's a hedge of your own desire that's constricting the energy. And so playing with, okay, what if I 10x it, right?
Mm-hmm. So fun.
So fun.
Ooh. So fun. Well, thank you so much, Julia. For those on with us live, there's been like a consistent flow of people the entire time. So really appreciate you guys. Like, definitely like follow back up on this Instagram live on what comes through over the next 7 days. Like, we want to hear your miracles. We're here for the miracles. Definitely follow Julia on Instagram. She has 2 accounts, Jules Marie and Radical Healers. Both are excellent. There's so much juice in them on her stories. Like, you can actually like follow her with doing energy practices on her and her reels. You do so many reels. And then for those of you who are thinking about joining the Regenerative Business Mastermind, thinking about applying to the Regenerative Business Mastermind, just know we have our early bird bonus cut off on Friday, so 2 days from now. And then we're starting September 2nd. So you can go to learn.thedirtyalchemy.com/RBMM or go to my link in bio. You will have stuff with me and with Julia inside of there. There are VIP levels if you want to work privately within the container too. So some people like group, some people like group private hybrid. Any final words?
My final word is there's a lot of power here.
Yeah.
Like for those who are watching, for you, with you, Sam, with the mastermind, like I felt it as we pulled that in. We've been talking about this, but I haven't touched it energetically. And I feel that. I feel that group and the power of it. And I'm really excited for those who it's going to be a yes for, because I think there's a lot, not just possibility in individual people's lives and business, but laying the groundwork for a very different ways of business that we get to lead people in.
Yeah. Yes. My mantra has been I just came up with this yesterday. So my new mantra for the group is radical witches making radical riches, doing radical shit in the world. So like come join us. Come join that vision. We want you a part of it. There are only 10 spots though, so
Come join, but only some of you actually. But we're gonna pave the way
yeah.
for more and more and more of that. But really, I feel that there's like a leadership here of like, let's lay down a new way of doing business to have like a really juicy, radical time in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, thank you guys. I'll put this on the Regenerative Business podcast. So if you want to listen, and like this IG story too, but if it's easier usually to listen to audios on podcasts. So if you want to do that energy work with different wild desires, or with to activate it again in the future for like another 7 days, definitely go check that out. We'll see you soon.
Yay.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Sam.